Welcome to the Farming Without the Bank podcast, the show with a no BS approach to money, hosted by a farm strategy expert and authorized IBC practitioner. Join us as we get real and expose the flaws of traditional financial institutions in order to help farmers take control of their finances, create peace of mind, grow their wealth, and leave a legacy. Now, here's your host, Mary Jo Irmen.
Hello. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. I very much appreciate it. Hey, if you guys are enjoying these podcasts, please share them with others. You know what's funny? I get a lot of people telling me, Mary Jo, I love it. I love the podcast because you're laughing at yourself. Or, hey, we are listening to this as a family on a road trip. Oh, gosh. I'm glad to go along on your road trip with you guys. Send me pictures so I can participate if you're going to be taking me along. Oh, I'd love to know. All right, today we are going to talk about a subject that may or may not irritate a few people, but it's passing off work and expecting others to just cover for you. And let me tell you, we are still doing construction on this property we bought, and I have about had it. It is July. We closed in December, and, you know, I'm not a contractor, and if you're a contractor, feel free to email me and let me know if this is normal and why it can't be changed, but not very organized, right? And it's not just our contractor. It seems to be a lot of contractors, and just things aren't getting done on time. So Mary Jo kind of took the reins a little bit and got things moving. But as we are getting to the end of this whole remodel, it's interesting how I go in the house and say, hey, we got to get, floors are going in, cabinets are going in, and floors aren't clean. Well, how are you supposed to set cabinets if floors aren't clean? Contractors didn't go in, clean the floors because apparently they didn't make the mess. Somebody else made the mess. And this contractor says, well, we just didn't get there. The general just didn't get there to clean it because heaven forbid the guy that actually made the mess is going to clean it up. So it gets swept out of the way a little bit by the cabinet guy because he doesn't want to set cabinets on floors that aren't clean and even. But he doesn't, it's not his responsibility to do a super duper great job. And I go in and say, well, are these floors clean enough for flooring? Oh, he'll clean it, is what I was told. He's going to clean the floors? He's the flooring guy. He's not the cleaning guy. So he spends a day and a half. There's two guys. One spends a day and a half cleaning to make sure everything is sanded down and holes are filled. And oh yeah, guess what? Holes in the floor weren't patched. So contractor had to come back and patch those. After he patches them, he leaves sawdust everywhere. And at this point, I've cleaned floors. I've just taken the action to do it because they aren't clean. And I'm thinking, my gosh, I can do a little bit. I don't know exactly how clean the flooring guy needs them, but I can help a little bit. So instead of it taking him 2 days, it takes him a day and a half. But there's holes in the floor, which he's expected to patch, but he didn't make them because he's not in charge of the remodel. Instead, the general's in charge of the remodel, who should be making sure that these floors are cleaned by the builders. And as we're going through that this week, all I can think about is everybody wants to pass the buck. Everybody wants to say, no, you know what? The next guy in line can do it because that's just how it goes. That's how it's always been. Well, I don't really care how it's always been. And if you guys have listened to me long enough, you know this. I absolutely don't care if that's how we've done things for 500 years. That doesn't mean that that's how we have to do them. And so I was thinking, this is a lot like what we are doing as we operate a farm, as we run a business, if we don't have our numbers ready and we don't keep our books and we go to the bank and say, hey, can you give me some money? And the bank says, well, let me see your books. Are you making any money? Where are you spending your money? Right? They ask all these questions and then we get mad about it. And then we get a loan to run our business, to run our farm. And as we do that, we now go into business with the bank. And we allow them to run our operation because why? We passed the buck and said, you know what? Here you go. Here are all my receipts. Here's my bag of information to the accountant at the end of the year. Let him clean up my mess from the whole year because I didn't want to do it. So I'll give it to him to clean it up. Then he's going to tell me that I can go buy a piece of equipment and I can buy something to use as a tax write-off for the end of the year. And when I do that, now I have a payment. And then the next year I might have a bad year and I can't make that payment. And now the banker is a bad guy because he's coming in and saying, hey, you need to make this payment. And you're saying, but you lent me the money. And I'm saying, who wrote the check? You cannot be upset with the bank if you can't make a payment because you are so strung out that you don't know your numbers. Because on the business side of things, and the financial side of things, we cannot pass the buck. We cannot expect somebody else to clean up our mess or run our operation. And that's exactly what is happening in this remodel. Everybody is passing the buck, and I have about had enough. Everybody needs to clean up everybody else's mess. Are we making the bank in your business? Are you making the bank clean up your mess? And my farmers, this is where I want you to think about your operation as a business. We're not farming and just planting stuff. If you are a contractor and you are a mason or you are a siding guy or you are a landscaper, you don't get to just come in and do the work and leave. No, that's not how that works. You have to come in, do the work, and go home and do your books or hire somebody to do your books. And again, if you give that person just a bunch of receipts and you don't have a system for your bookkeeper to manage your books easier, what are you doing? You're passing off your mess. It's a mess. And I see this all the time with clients. We don't have our books set, or we wait until the end of the year to do our books. And then we're mad because the bank is asking us questions. Well, he told me I can buy that piece of equipment. Really? Really? Because you signed the check. You're the one that ultimately made that decision. I had a client yesterday, $33,000 of credit card debt, no job, staying home, taking care of his toddler. No house, living with his parents. And I said, well, why don't you have a job? And there was really no answer. Well, where he was won't take him back. Well, there's more jobs, right? This is why I am not a financial coach in the aspect of you need to make a budget, because my patience runs very low in these situations. But he said he's in the financial situation he is because of his ex-wife. I can understand to an extent until we started talking some more. Well, she made me sell the farm. Well, she made me buy things and racked up the credit card. Well, she made me do this. I said, she made you like she had a gun to your head? We're not taking responsibility. It's your responsibility to say no. It's someone's responsibility, which is most likely you if somebody else isn't doing it, to get things done. I hired a general contractor who, in my opinion, isn't scheduling stuff fast enough. So guess who stepped in? Me. Because if you're going to let the ball drop, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to get crap done. I'm not going to pass the buck. I'm going to go in, get what I need to get done, and I'm not when we sell our house and when we move out of our current home, I'm not going to leave it messy. I'll clean it because it's my responsibility. I still owned the home. You clean it for the next person so they can move in. In your business, you don't pass the buck to the bank and then be mad at the bank. You don't have the right to do that. When I got started in this industry, I really felt bad for the people who the bank was questioning. But I quickly learned the bank is questioning people, A, because they have risk. But if you're not keeping your books and you're just coming in with receipts and, hey, this is what my accountant said, the accountant and the banker are running your business? Do you think that the banker is going to give you a lot of credit? Oh, well, I'm making money. I don't have any loans, Mary Jo. I'm making money. I pay for everything, but I almost break even every year. Or I do break even every year. Or I make just a little bit. I don't need to keep books, really? Because could you make more if you actually did keep your books? How do you know what your profit is? Got to have a profit margin if you own a business, right? Where you're selling goods or services. There isn't a built-in profit margin for farmers. That isn't happening because we don't know from year to year where we're at. But at the end of the day, we need to stop passing the buck to somebody else or passing the responsibility. I grew up hearing pass the buck. So stop passing the responsibility to somebody else and start keeping track of our own mess and cleaning up our own messes. Because you will know where you're at financially. You will know if you can start the whole without the bank strategy, right? Can you do an infinite banking policy? Right now, so many people have no idea where that money would come from. I met with another client last week that really thought that they had something until we tear apart numbers. And I'm like, where is the money going to come from? I mean, I lay it out in the book. We don't have access to everything right away. We have to pay premium forever. So where is this money going to come from? And then they question, well, how do people even start this? Well, they do start. Lots of people start because lots of people do have their books in order. Lots of people do have a profit. We're not financed and spending every single penny on bank loans. Some things are maybe paid for. Maybe we have equity in a home or a mortgage or a building or property or whatever. There are plenty of opportunities to start, but we all need to have our books in order. Me included. You guys, I did it wrong in the beginning. I didn't have a bookkeeper. I did it all whenever end of the year it was an absolute disaster. 3 days in front of a computer because, oh my gosh, I got to pay taxes. I got to get it done. Best money ever spent was hiring my bookkeeper who goes in every single day and updates my records. I can go in at every single day and see exactly where I'm at because she has access to my checking accounts. She has access to credit card statements and the bank statements, right? No, she does not have access to write checks. She has access to look at bank statements. She has access to credit card statements. I never use cash for anything because then I would have to provide her a receipt. And I stink at that. I am not good at paperwork. If I was, I wouldn't have an assistant or two, right? I wouldn't need the bookkeeper. And I wouldn't be in the position I'm in because I would want to be the one doing the books. God did not create me to be the bookkeeper and the paper worker. He created me to be here to help teach you all what is going on and how to do infinite banking. Know your position. Hire the people that need to do it. Fine if my contractor doesn't want to clean a house, but hire people that know how to clean, for heaven's sakes, and use a dang vacuum. Because, a 1/4 inch of dirt in a pile is not going to be good for underflooring. And if we're going to do a half-assed job, don't even do it at all because somebody has to come back and clean it up. So if you're going to do your books and you're going to put it in there a little bit here, a little bit there, guess what? It's actually going to take the bookkeeper probably longer to fix it than it would if you just hired that person to do it on a daily basis. Quit blaming somebody else because you're in the financial situation that you're in. Figure out how to get out of it. If you do not have a job, why? There is not very many good reasons why a capable individual cannot be working and having some sort of income. If we want something bad enough, we will get it done. So the moral of the story is quit passing the buck. Take the responsibility yourself. Don't make the next guy clean it up. And the next guy in this situation for you is most likely your banker. Bankers are terrified of me. I have no idea why. I'm like one little old person out here, and they think I'm going to take all their business, and they have buildings on every street corner. I find it quite comical, really. Like, oh, we're scared of little old Mary Jo. I'm one person. I am not going to destroy the banking system by myself. That would be a tall order. But they're worried because they think that I am against them. They think because of the title of the book, because they don't want to read anything and actually educate themselves, they think that I am their enemy, when in fact, it is quite opposite. I am the one saying, hey, your banker has a reason to be upset. So don't get all hurt about it. Get your feelers hurt because they're asking questions. They're asking questions most likely because it's legitimate. Do they have faith that you are going to take responsibility? So I may have ticked off a few people today. I may have hurt some feelers. And most likely if I hurt somebody's feelers, it's because it's hitting home and something needs to be done. And taking that step to do it is not going to be easy. And I didn't say it was going to be. Remember, I just did a podcast on that. It's not going to be easy. Nobody said that it should be. And so you have to get your books in order. It's going to take some time. It's going to take the right person. It's going to take finding that person, some research, but it is going to be worth it in the end because everybody helping you is going to be happier to help you. You are going to look like a far more legit operation. So take it to heart, what I am saying today, and don't be that guy or that person passing the buck, not taking responsibility. Okay, my friends, that is all I have as thoughts today. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you come back again and listen to another soapbox. If you need anything, you know where to find me, Mary Jo at withoutthebank.com. If you have not gotten the books, go ahead and do so. And here's another thing before I close out. I had a gentleman this week that I said, no, I am not doing business with you. I am not writing you a policy until you read the book again. And he got the audio book and didn't see all the numbers in there and didn't quite grasp the concept because he wasn't reading it. So as much as I would love for you to buy the audiobook, if you're getting the audiobook, get the actual book as well. Yes, with the audiobook, you get emailed all the diagrams, all the graphs, all the scenarios. So you can follow along as I'm reading the book. However, a lot of times it is easier, and I can tell people that have listened to the book one time are much slower to grasp what I'm saying. And so remember that there are numbers in this book. So get the hard copy if you can with the audio. So then you can listen to the audio, but you can go back and highlight and reread things because the retention may be better there, depending on what type of learner you are. But if you haven't got the books, go to the website withoutthebank.com or farmingwithoutthebank.com. Grab the books. You can grab mine. You can grab Nelson's. And that is going to give you a good start. And then you can go ahead and schedule your appointment with me. And I would be happy to visit with you. Okay. Again, let me know if you need anything. Otherwise, I'm out and I will talk to you guys next week. Have a fantastic week.
Thanks for listening to the Farming Without the Bank podcast. We hope today's episode has inspired you to take control of your finances in new ways. Don't forget to check out our website, farmingwithoutthebank.com, and engage with us on our Facebook page, Farming Without the Bank. Join us next week as we smash more financial myths and empower you to accomplish your financial goals.